Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. We're finally back. Um, yeah, gosh, it's been a while. Uh, Very sorry about that. I was gone last week, and then I got really sick. It was actually like a really unfortunate little sequence of events because first my flight got cancelled, so I got up at 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. Um, Kind of ready to, get on my flight, get back home. And then I woke up and I checked my phone because it's the first thing my generation does in the morning. And the first thing I saw on my phone was a text message from the carrier that was basically, whoops, your flight's been cancelled. Too bad. That had been sent like 20 minutes before I'd woken up. Yeah, and so I had to reschedule my flight. So I rescheduled my flight, and then I got sick. So I did end up taking that rescheduled flight, but it really, really sucked because I basically did it with a 39-degree fever. But we're here now. I'm feeling better. Very excited to get back to work on the project. It's been a little bit for me. I hope you don't mind the background noise. I've sort of been working in here all day, and it's very hot today. It's meant to be very rainy tomorrow, but it's very hot today, and so I've left the windows open because otherwise, with the heat of the PC and everything, I think I just cook from the inside. But do let me know if it's too much or if it's too hot. So if it's too hot for me, do let me know if the background noise is too much. And yeah, we'll see how things go. But I'm glad to be back. How have you guys been? Welcome us into this lovely integrated development environment. I've already noticed an issue or two. There's some, like, this isn't, it can't see the symbol. And I mean, I'm just going to build the solution. But I don't know what Josh has been up to. Maybe Josh will hop on at some point and tell me what I'm doing wrong, but either way, today we got about 2 hours today. My goal today was to look at something called gameplay experiences, which I will explain in more detail eventually. But yeah, temperature killing you. How hot is it where you are? Because I very much believe that if you look at a map of Europe, we're actually quite lucky in the UK here. It's really, really bloody hot if you go like Romania and the Balkans. Most of Europe, when I was in Switzerland, it was a good 32, 34 degrees. We went to a concert while I was there, and at the concert venue they had to hand out like sun blankets, essentially. It's like a reflective blanket. Felt like a whole refugee camp. But yeah, it was good that they did because everyone, made it without issues. But why are you? Good old Czechia. Yeah, I've got a friend in Greece and it's like 38, 40 there. I've got a friend in Romania, very similar there. But yeah. Prague was really hot when I was there last summer. And then I went to Budapest and it got even hotter. But Prague at least has like pretty okay public water facilities. Like there's a decent amount of water taps. Budapest was a real pain because there's basically none there, and all of their tap water is, or well, all of their like publicly available like drinking taps all suck. I don't know what it is about them, but like the water always tasted awful. Prague's were at least pretty nice and chill, and the beer is very good. Let me yell at Josh for this. Remember the, if I can remember the Windows commands. It could just be something that Josh has pushed or tried to push, but yeah, I'm not sure. I've been very busy now that I've gotten back to the UK. I got back Monday and got home and fell asleep because I was quite sick, and well, I'd spent the day traveling and I hadn't gotten a huge amount of sleep. Tuesday I was also mostly just in bed. Wednesday was one of my housemates' graduations. He's a very good friend of mine, so I went to that, took a bunch of photos, kind of hung out with him and his family, and a bunch of other friends who were also graduating. Yesterday I was back to work. This project was originally supposed to be done by Monday, but I was sick the whole weekend, and some of the hardware that I needed to finish it was back here in the UK. So I basically didn't get to work on it until yesterday. So I've been crunching to catch up with that. And I've been trying to, catch up with like stuff regarding university as well. It's just been a whole thing. But hey, it's the weekend now. I'm very excited. I hope you all are excited. Microsoft Defender, I don't care. Essentially, what we're going to be trying to build today, yes, that makes sense in the English language, is this whole experience system, which is based off of Lyra again. You'll notice that we use this as an inspiration quite a lot. But we'll give it a moment to chill. We'll see if Josh gets back to me regarding some of those broken things in the main project. Hi Dimitri, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Excited for the weekend? Just building Lyra here, and having a chat. There's like a lawnmower or something going outside. Can you guys hear that? Should I close the windows? Oh, it's not a lawnmower, it's a car. It's a little embarrassing. I don't know if for me or the car, but Oh, I'm glad to see you're excited for the game. Bored, I wish. Okay, that's good. That means the microphone is doing its job properly. That was one of the benefits of the new microphone, but I'm glad that it's holding up. Yeah, I wish we could be faster with the game. Unfortunately, these things take time. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Part of the hope with these streams is you can see kind of where we're at. Because, yay transparency. I do miss Prague. I keep looking back at your message out there. Yeah, Prague is really lovely. I've got a really big picture of Prague on my wall actually that I took when I was there. Fun story, I was on the Prague Castle, and well, I really wanted this photo of like the whole beautiful, city of Prague. And unfortunately, it was like a balcony, but it was behind a gate, and the gate was locked. But I really, really wanted this photo, and so I climbed on top of the gate. It was like a big, like, stone gate, and I like climbed on top of it and took, snapped a couple of photos. I turn around, there's this security guard looking right at me. He just shakes his head and like nudges me to get down, and that's pretty much all. I got away with it, but I don't think he was particularly happy with me. I wish I had like the photo easily handy and accessible. Actually, I think it's my LinkedIn background thingy. Let's see if I can find this. I also don't want to entirely leak my LinkedIn. So I'm gonna see if I can find this photo. While Viking Lyra takes ages to build. I like, updated shit and stuff before the stream with the intention of, we won't have to like sit around and wait around, but apparently we do. Okay, I've managed to get into my LinkedIn on this computer. Okay, it's a crop, but this is the photo that I took of Prague that I have on my wall. It's the one that's on my wall is a lot more to the bottom and top, but yeah. Really, really beautiful city. Come on. Josh has just gone away, so oh well. It's now indexing Unreal. Ugh. What can we do in the meantime? Let's pop this over here. Let's go over some sort of I'll give you some of my thoughts on community suggestions. That feels like something to do. So, wow, a ping roll for dev streams. I think this is a great idea, and I'm kidding. Obviously glad that it's there, and very happy to have you guys join me. I quite like the idea of turning. Oh, we do have Lyra. Excellent. I do quite like the idea of turning the engine on and off. I don't know, it's just like a little realism thing that I don't think, changes a huge amount. I probably wouldn't do fuel as a mechanic. I don't know if you guys feel differently, but oh god. Unreal likes to randomly decide to recompile shaders. So I guess we're going through suggestions for a little bit longer. If you have stuff in chat that you'd like me to react to, respond to, I don't know, if you want to hear my thoughts on, or any suggestions you want to make, go for it. I'm all ears. Let's see what are hot topics. I do know this. The starter tank. This discussion raged on for ages. Very interesting discussion. My general impression is, we haven't even really solidified on what sort of tank classes will be in the game. So this is a great resource, but it's not like directly related to something that we're working on right now. That said, there was a lot of discussion of like US versus German starter tank, and machine gun tanks versus non-machine gun tanks. There was an M2A3, an M2A4, I don't know, there was an American something that was armed with a 37. And I feel like you can quite easily put that up balance-wise against like a Panzer 35T, which is just a Skoda, but, you know. M2A1 with a 50 cal turret for the Americans. Yeah, there's options here. Like, but at the same time, we're trying to keep the amount of actual tanks not super high. For a number of reasons. I mean, obviously we're a small team, and each tank takes time to model. You know, it is what it is. We're trying to keep things fast and efficient. I think, while Josh is away, I'm just gonna just comment those out. Let's try and build this as well. Just because I'm well aware we've spent 15 minutes just sort of chatting. On goes the build process. This should be pretty quick. Come on. We're about halfway through the Lyra shaders. I suppose now is as good a time as any to run through what we're sort of aiming to do today. Gameplay experiences in the context of Lyra define essentially like game mode. So they define spawn points, they define the win conditions, they define how you earn points. And ideally, the way we'd like this to work is a level designer can make a new level and assign a gameplay experience to it. And as soon as that's done, that level with that gameplay experience in it will automatically show up in like a server browser or like a, you know, essentially a level browser, whether that's or a map browser. And that way it's very easy to add and remove levels from the game. So we can internally keep all of our levels in the project, and then using something called gameplay content plugins, I think, something like that. We can enable and disable levels from the shipping version of the game. So we can, you know, a designer can go and make a level, and boom, you can immediately play that level in game, and the gameplay experience will handle sort of all of the code and logic behind that. Essentially just all that the level designer needs to think about is the level itself, like how the map is laid out. And the gameplay experience will handle everything else. So if I go into plugins, actually, you'll see the, if I look up gameplay, no, are they content plugins? Plugin. Game feature plugins. That's what they're called, not content or gameplay. Game feature plugins. So game feature plugins are a type of plugin that just contains actual like game code and stuff, and we can load them at runtime. You can imagine them sort of like, we just another way of encapsulating parts of the game. So we can build each map as a game feature plugin and then turn them on and off without losing any of that, without having to like, take the content out of the project or write our own system for what gets added and what doesn't get added. It makes builds easier because, I don't 100% know how this works, but I would assume if you disable a feature plugin, it's just not shipped with the game. All in all, just a win for us. And that's tied together by these gameplay experiences, which sort of allow us to make a unified central framework for how gameplay takes place, how, the different game modes are played out. So for the start, we can maybe just do like a really simple death match, like everybody versus everybody, just as a gunplay test. And then we can have like a team deathmatch, and then maybe we can add capture points and, whatever kind of gameplay stuff we want to add, that will all be within this framework. So that's what I'm trying to establish today, like the super basics of this system. And it's going to be inspired by Lyra, which is why I'm building Lyra here. So we're almost done compiling all the shaders. And then we'll take a look, because I want to first investigate the implementation in Lyra. And then we'll pop into C++ and take a look at sort of all of the C++ files associated and transfer those over to Warbound. And once those are done, we can kind of, I doubt we'll get that far today. Over the weekend, me and Josh need to have a meeting now that I am a little bit more free. And try and wrap up sort of our basic movement stuff, and then we can do basic weapon stuff. And then hopefully we're starting to look at something that is kind of playable. So these are sort of the three last little bits. We've already got a warehouse here, Dimitri. It's sort of, we've got this, and we've got some like shooting range type areas over here. And over here. And essentially the idea is just, at first we'll just sort of run a quick multiplayer test internally. And it's really just like, that's like the ultimate basics of, what the project is going to be. Once we're at that point, we can say, okay, we have our ultra like super basic foundations. What is our actual goal? Because these are like the three things that are really clear that like we know we are going to need. And then we can go, okay, so we have these things. What do we need to reach our next goal? Which, might be like, okay, an internal playtest with maybe 4 people. And we say, okay, so we're going to need a game mode that can do that. We're going to need some sort of setup or loadout screen. We're going to need some sort of join menu. We're going to need some sort of user interface to look for servers and stuff. We'll probably do just like P2P networking at first. And then we'll go to the next stage, and we'll say, okay, let's say our next stage is a playtest with supporters, or, that's definitely not close. Don't mistake my words. But like, let's say our goal at some point is, okay, we need that. So we say, okay, so for that, we're going to need some sort of dedicated server infrastructure. We're going to need some sort of, proper account system so that we can give this out to people, etc. So that's how we're building, basically. How big are the servers going to be? That's very difficult to tell at this point in time. We're sort of aiming to be big, but not too big. So we also need to kind of figure out what the restrictions of our server hardware are going to be. So nobody on our team has ever worked with AWS. And I mean, a bunch of us have experience with other infrastructure management. Actually, no, Levy's worked with AWS. I'm wrong there. I stand corrected. But the rest of us, I don't think he's worked with, I think, is it called GameLift? Something like that. We'll Google it. AWS Game. Yeah, I think it's called GameLift. Yeah, so this is what we're going to be using. And there are, if I find the pricing tab, there's all of these like different types of servers with different CPU and storage configurations and stuff. So, you know, because we definitely cannot afford $181,000 a month plus $82,000 for bandwidth, so $264,000 a month. That's not something we can afford. So we'll probably be sticking to, simpler stuff. At first. So I would expect if we do playtests at some point, the first playtests will probably be something like 5v5, 6v6, 10, 12 player servers. And after that, sort of, maybe a 12v12. But as you can see, this is even on the low end of like a 1v1 card game in Unity with, not a huge amount of peak player. I mean, I'm assuming, I'm not quite sure what CCU is. Compute containers unit? I don't know. But either way, that's still not something we can afford at this point in time, even for a 1v1 card game. I'm sure this is way more like bandwidth than we will need in terms of early playtests, but we'll be keeping it fairly small scale at the beginning just because of the costs. In terms of end goal, whether that's going to be 24 versus 24 or 32 versus 32, I cannot see us going higher than that. But it also depends on what we settle on for map sizes and stuff like that. So I can't really give you... That was a very long-winded way of saying I don't know. But we finally got Lyra up. So let's take a look around Lyra. And okay. So if I hit play here, this should take me to the sort of default Lyra thing. Yes. Nice and laggy. Excellent. So if I go to the Lyra front end, Sandley Cut, thank you for the follow. And Bogio60, thank you for the follow as well. I missed those just a tad. That has some audio, but yes. So if I hit play Lyra, all of these right here, these little 5 things, I believe these are gameplay experiences. And that is what we're going to explore today. That is what I'd like to figure out. Because that's NPC counts as a player on the server. That's a great question. Josh has gotten back to me. And Josh is actually joining us on stream. Hello, Josh. Welcome to the stream. NPC counts as a player on the server. Let me finish that. First of all, I don't think we're planning on having NPCs as part of the regular multiplayer. So, yeah. But to be honest, like from a technical perspective, I don't know if an NPC, I don't think an NPC counts as a player on the server, because an NPC runs purely on the server. That's my...
For you to farm, basically.
Okay, I think I've fixed my audio settings now. You should hear Josh. Please let me know if he's very loud, because I can turn him down on the stream side.
Testing.
You're just fine for me, Josh, but just on the stream side, you're clipping quite a bit.
Also, are you still getting those build errors, by the way? Am I clipping? Is that better?
Tenphenix here's daddy. Cool. I still have no files updated. I commented the stuff out. He's quite loud. Okay, let me turn Josh down just a tad. Okay, we'll do -7 decibels. But wait, let's solve this first. Yeah, I just sort of commented it out. But it's in just Warbound character, and the onrep is prone.
Have you pulled everything?
Yeah, I get latest gets me no files updated.
Right, so get a chance, just revert, and then just try a clean and rebuild, in case it's some weird cache thing.
Oh, it might be because
Captain Naruto getting a lot of goddamn errors that fixed.
It might be because I think I still had local changes to character movement component. Yeah, it's gone away now. Okay, fair enough.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's still a broken mess anyway, but it builds.
That's what's important.
Honestly, it's so bad at the moment. It's in a really bad state.
We'll take a look at it.
Especially because I've started early work as well on the state manager. As in, when I say state manager, it's more like a state Overwatch. As in, it tries to keep track of every single state the play is in, because I use that to drive the animations.
Mm-hmm.
So broken. Everything's broken. Everything's crying. Everything's on fire.
Excellent.
But
I expected nothing less.
Correct.
Yeah. Now we'll take a look tomorrow. I think I'm back now, and for context, there's a project that I need to submit. I almost dropped something there. Sorry. There's a project that I need to submit to work. That I've finished on my side, but I need the infrastructure to host it on, so that the client can download it. And I got in touch with the infra team to be like, hey, can you update the permissions for the stuff that I've uploaded? And they were like, oh my god, why are you uploading it there? And I was like, wait a minute, but that's where I've uploaded all the things in the past. And they were like, no, this is wrong, you shouldn't be uploading things here. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, can you send me the can you tell me where I'm supposed to upload the thing? And they were like, okay, it's fine, we'll send you new credentials. And then they sent half the credentials, but not all of them. So I'm just sort of waiting for them to send me the credentials so I can upload the frickin' project. But you know what? I've done my thing. Build failed, Warbound. That's... Why did you fail? What the heck? Oh, live coding. Exit the editor or the game. What do you mean? You're
I
fine.
hate live coding.
Live coding is the worst. Okay, it doesn't
Live
like
coding is like what Xbox has done with Quick Resume to multiplayer games. Works fine for standalone, but if you're doing it for a multiplayer game, it just breaks everything.
It's a whole thing. But yeah,
I'll just say the fact that live coding is turned on by default.
It's really annoying.
You have to do it for every project. It's annoying.
But okay, so this is our Lyra. I'm gonna stick to Lyra for now, just because I'm looking at the user experiences anyway. But okay, so get primary asset ID list, Lyra user facing experience definition. So we've got this user facing experience definition, which gets loaded. I like how the load bundles is just an empty array. Blender's shader editor, you mean, Dimitri? It's a good one. It's a fun one. This is not that bad actually. We've well, when me and Josh were working on an unspecified previous project together, it was quite horrific. It was way worse than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not great.
I still remember that day when all I wanted to do was get the current ammo. That set the stone for me.
That was quite the experience you had.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's see.
To figure out how to get information of one variable, it took me 30 minutes of boring into code.
Okay, I don't want context effects library. Okay, let's look at the code actually. So I'm looking for Lyra user facing experience definition.
So what you're looking at the moment then?
I am looking at gameplay experiences because they're cool.
Those wonderful things. Where,
yes.
Because of experience, it actually confused the hell out of me where certain components were actually getting added, not knowing that the experiences were injecting them. So, that's a thing they can do.
Yeah. Okay, we have some UI stuff here. And then the actual... Okay, it's a primary asset ID. The map and the gameplay experience. Okay, so there's a user-facing definition, and there's a... If I search experience... Experience definition. Okay, so game features, default pawn class, list of actions to perform, additional action sets. Okay, I believe that that's done on maps. Shooter maps contents. Apps. L Expanse. Anyway, actually, long time no see, Josh. It's nice to hear your voice again.
Yeah. Don't worry, all I've done is just been breaking everything. So, maybe. As I say, you break it enough, it eventually works. That's my logic.
I don't know if that's the approach that I'd take, but
Well, it's got me till today. So.
you know, if it works, it's not stupid.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. Just in my case, it's always broken. So, it's like an infinite loop.
So you're always fixing it, which just ends up breaking it again. So you're fixing it again?
Exactly.
That's quite the...
It's like a Hydra. You cut one head, two heads come back.
I was going to say that's quite the... That's quite the experience. Hey, Bugya, it's nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. As you can see, we're trying to
learn
do
how
our
to not do stuff
thing as well.
I figured out what that freezing issue I kept having with Twitch. It's an Opera GX thing. I said it's some like memory saving thing that it does now and again. It just breaks it.
Average Opera GX experience.
Yeah.
Oop.
And there don't seem to be a fix to it, so that's even better.
Use a different browser.
Yeah, but effort. I'm too used to Opera at this point. I mean, I'm never going back to Chrome, that's for sure.
Why not? What's wrong with Chrome?
I know GX. Many things. I mean, it's not as bad as Microsoft Edge. Though it's improved a little bit Edge to Falcon Dues. But...
There we go. Default gameplay experience. Nice. So this is a gameplay experience. So this is constructed much the same way weapons are.
Yeah. To some extent.
It's using fragments.
That add components thing.
Yeah. It's using fragments. It adds abilities, adds components. So this is essentially... Yeah. This is essentially what we're going for with our sort of architecture. Because it's a pain in the ass to set up, as Josh will tell you if you have any questions about how we set up our weapon systems. But it is very, very flexible. So this adds... So for example, one thing that they're doing here is they're adding this shooter bot spawner. So this is a script that just creates bots with this controller. And then it gives them a random name. I like Hubert. That's a fun name. Tinplate. Bottington. Huh. Yeah. And so, you know, we can sort of just add stuff very easily. As a standard HUD, it adds basic shooter accolades. It enables the shooter core game feature. So it's an interesting one for sure. Let's see, because this is derived from Lyra experience definition, which is this thing. Make soft. So data asset, and it has a data validation check. Look at that. Team setup, 2 teams. Teams to create, team 1 and team 2. So we probably will not define teams this way, but you can imagine us like making like uniforms here based on, you know, what team you are assigned to inside the game, and then you can sort of pick which uniform you want of the options, or maybe it's based on class. I don't know yet. Okay. So let's get cracking, I guess. I'm just gonna real quick check if this goes any further back, because these are standard. LM chain processor streak. Ooh, that's quite cool. Okay, so this is where, like, I don't know how else to call them, but like in-game or in-match achievements, like a headshot or a double kill or something like that. So the way they're handling these is with these processors. So you can have a 5, 10, 15, and 20 elimination streak. And that's this LM streak here. So yeah, there's just a little streak count. Interesting. So that is, again, something that's really easy to add with this setup, and one of the reasons we're going this route. But I don't see anything beyond like Lyra experience definition. So let's find out where it is. It's in Lyra game modes. There's also an experience manager. And the manager component okay, this is the thing that will be a little bit tricky because I'm not 100% sure where these load. This is, what is this based off of? Game state component with the loading process interface. The one other thing I'm wondering is how this gets added to like the default world settings game mode. Because that's kind of a core way that it works. I don't know how to do that. is that just an experience? Yeah, that's just a Lyra experience definition. So if I go here and I go find usages, default gameplay experience, is that what it's called? Yes. Okay, so that's defined in Lyra world settings.h, which is also in the game modes section. Interesting. I would say we start there. So I'm going to stop Lyra game. I'm going to move that over there. I'm not going to move around the ability system folder. I'm going to add a new directory. We're going to call that game modes, and off to the races. It'll be an Unreal class. Please, I would like to go over here. And that is going to be called a Warbound world settings. And our parent class is going to be a world, I can't spell, a world settings. And we're going to make those game modes. Yep. Okie dokie. Let's see what's popping off on Discord. Okay, I'll add those. And now we'll need at least the Warbound experience definition. There's a fly like right above my head. Please fuck off. It sat on my shoulder. What the fuck? Okay. Let's make a new Unreal class. This is based off of a primary data asset, and it's going to be called Warbound experience definition. And again, we're just going to add it here. Add it to source control. And let's start with our world settings. So first we need to add our class. I see. I did not need to manually add the prefixes. That's good to know. So it should just be Warbound world settings. Hello? That's just okay, fair enough. Then that needs to be just Warbound weapon experience definition. That's just fine. And then we can start writing our code. If I go to the right file, which is the world settings header, and we'll give it a comment. And we'll do a little public constructor. Okay. So this is a little and def. That should make that. So we're going to make a little, this is called a pragma, I believe. And essentially what this is it's just a cheeky little macro. It's a macro actually, it's not a pragma, it's a macro. It's a little macro that just checks if we're running with the editor. So in like development mode, and if so, then it just runs a little check for errors function, or well, declares it rather. We're going to make have a default gameplay experience. And then this is our actual default gameplay experience. Which is the gameplay experience that will actually run when the map is played. And then we're going to do another public. I'm like one-to-one copying Lyra here in case it wasn't very clear. Why am I copying Lyra? Well, it's just a really robust structure. So for stuff that makes sense like this, you know, it's good to have that on hand. Hyposplash, we really appreciate you being here. All of the just people in chat are things that keep us going, and just people talking and being excited about the game. So thank you for your support. This is just game programming. I don't know what else to say. We're sort of setting up still kind of basic stuff for the way the game will work, but we'll get there. So this is we're just gonna do the cheeky little super object initializer like that, and then we'll do we're going to implement get default gameplay experience first. So we can say f primary asset id result if default gameplay apologies, default gameplay experience dot is null. You asset manager get interesting. Get primary asset ID for path default gameplay experience dot to soft object path. What the fuck am I doing?
You may have your million lot.
Warning. Oh, you've made a log warbound experience. Nice. Experience is %s, but that failed to resolve into an asset ID. You might need to add a path. That's not the right keys. Asset rules in your game feature, plugin, or project settings. World's shortest comment. Take the get path name this. Default to string. Got dereference our pointers properly. Always remember to dereference properly, kids. And then we're gonna do our check for errors. And much like before, we're just gonna do an if with editor here. And if message log map check for T actor iterator a player start it get world. This is such a weird. Oh, it's just of course it's a classic for loop. I just always use for each loops. So pre-iterate, funky. I have a feeling it doesn't like T actor iterator. Yeah, it's not happy with. Does it just want like an include? I mean, I'll include whatever you want me to include. We've got engine asset manager. Gotta go include whatever this macro is. UE inline generated CPP by name Lyra world. Well, I guess that would be Warbound world settings. This includes engine utils.h. Has that fixed it? It's fixed something. I'm not sure why this deref isn't working. If is valid player start get class. Oh, it's because I've left that there. Of course, I'm a little bit special. Map check. Warning. And we're gonna do like a add token. Interesting. This is checking for player starts. And then yells at you if you use the default Unreal ones. Fair enough. Okay, someone on the street got very angry and honked their horn. Okay.
My bad.
You're bad. We don't live that close together.
You underestimate my horn.
I heard the horn from Yorkshire, Jesus. That's half the fucking country, you know?
Can't wait for that to be taken out of context.
Hyposplash, server size. What I basically said is I don't know. Like, it's very difficult to tell what the server size is going to be. I said that we'd start small and we'd see how big we can get. Probably less than 64 players. But we just don't know yet. We haven't decided. And it will depend on how...
Time will tell.
Yeah, like Josh is saying, time will tell. It will depend on how our infrastructure rollouts go when we start testing that. It'll depend on how much the infrastructure costs. It'll depend on all of that stuff. So it's basically
and
impossible
also from
to
a
tell right
gameplay perspective, it's like if there's too many players, it can just feel overcrowded and all a lot. So
yeah, so we'll do tests with map sizes versus player counts. Maybe we'll try 64 players on a map that's 20 meters across, and we'll say, that didn't work. That's a surprise. And then we'll try 2 players on a 16 kilometer squared map and say, that was boring. Successful. We should be back up. I'm going to wait until... Yes, okay. I'm not sure what happened there. OBS decided to disconnect, but we're back. We were talking about server sizes. Essentially, we don't know is the PR answer. But we'll get there. We'll figure it out.
yeah, we're just in a very early stage of development still, so some stuff we can't really give answers to.
But yeah, welcome to everyone rejoining the stream. I don't know what exactly happened there. What I do know is OBS had a bit of a moment, but we're back. And I'm going to start writing the actual experience definition. So let me find what I'm basing this off of. It's a primary data asset. That's classed. I want class. Yes. So I have a feeling that some of these are not going to compile right away, but that's okay. So, essentially, this is going to be like the backbone of the entire multiplayer experience system. And I'm going to be starting out without much modification from Lyra, at least on the C++ front. But I'm sure over time we will, as we figure out sort of what we really need, we'll end up sort of customizing things. We're going with Lyra as a base just because it's pretty flexible and generally like customizable, and it's not really built super rigidly. So is this the right? Yes, it is. Okay. So editor only data, and update asset bundle data. Now we can do our actual game features. So I'm going to gonna make everything's gonna be edit defaults only. The category is gonna be gameplay, and then we're gonna make a T array. String game features to enable. Then I'm gonna copy that, and we're gonna do T object pointer const u warbound pawn data default pawn data, and then we're gonna do, we need the actions, so T array of T object pointers to u game feature actions. That's a nice bit of code. Just gonna call it actions, and one more, which is gonna be the action sets. So T array object pointer u warbound experience action set action sets. Let's give those a little comment. List of game feature plugins experience wants to have active default pawn to spawn for players. List of actions to perform as this experience. That's not how you spell experience. That's not how you... Okay, okay, there we go. Experience. There we go. I can spell. Is loaded, activated, deactivated, unloaded, and then list of additional action sets to compose into this experience. Cool. Let's implement it. There's a lot of stuff here. And it keeps sort of like ballooning. Like there's a lot of stuff that we have, that I've defined, that I don't actually have created in the project yet. So this is 100% going to continue into tomorrow. I might do a Saturday stream tomorrow, because we've been without streams for a while. Is that something that you guys would be interested in or able to watch? Maybe we'll do a survey on the server later tonight. Just sort of figure out when is the easiest for people. I think that might be worth doing, maybe at the end of the stream, because I'd like to do 1 or 2 streams, because I'm looking at the calendar and we've got Tuesday, Friday, and then that's my last stream for, I don't know, 2 weeks for sure, and probably 6 weeks. So I do want to get a couple more streams in. I'll be back to streaming in like second half of September, but until then I'm sort of traveling, and yeah. H&G was 18v18. H&G did feel very populated for the amount of players that there were. I think you're absolutely right with that. I'm very curious to see how we'll end up in that regard. It's the slime is saying you're saying exactly what I'm thinking, because that also feels very low to me, but it does sound about right. It worked, to be fair. Okay, That's good that we don't have that. With editor include. I've done the Lyra thing again. Warbound experience definition. Then we're going to define whatever lock text namespace Lyra system. Okay, let's just generate that, and then we're going to go right down to is data valid. So this is another of the editor functions. Do we call super at all here? I don't think so. Fair enough. No super. Data validation results. Result. Combine data validation results. Super is data valid. Oh no, there's the super. I totally missed that. We want it to be valid. Game feature action in actions. Wow, incredible. Let's do our brackets if action. What do you mean you can't find action? It's right there. Oh, because I've added a stupid thing on the end again. Data validation result. Child result. Action is data valid context. Why are you upset with action again? Okay, so this is gonna want include game feature action, which we don't have. And that's part of the game features API. Just the plugin. Excuse me. Josh, do you know if we've enabled modular game features?
I did enable it.
You did enable it.
I think. Might not have been fine.
I'm gonna double check because
Possibly not.
Because I'm trying to add game feature action. I'm trying to include game feature action rather, and it's just not working.
I mean, modular gameplay is specified in the private.
Is it? Interesting.
At least for me.
I'm gonna give the project
Check
a
their
build.
builds, yes.
I've got modular gameplay here as well.
Guess unless for whatever reason it expects it in public, I wouldn't have thought that'd make any difference. Like,
I'm just because I'm trying to get game feature action .h.
well, that's just a different thing. That's not modular gameplay. It's something else.
Add reference to modular game features in Warbound Build CS.
So that ain't modular game.
Okay, no, it needs to be game features. It cannot be. Okay, but that hasn't.
So game features is not in there.
That hasn't changed anything though.
No, you gotta rebuild it. I think once you put it in there for it to affect. If I remember rightly. Pretty wrong. Because it doesn't automatically like add it in. You just tell it to, then you have to like.
Okay, well, let's see if that works. That's an interesting point. Just the speed of the game. We'll see what we end up on in terms of game speed. I think we're going fast. I think that's the goal. But okay, well, game feature action.
We're going arcade.
Okay, well, that has worked. That's positive. When you mentioned it, Hyposplash, I was thinking of the respawn speed in particular because you spawned quite close to the combat, which made it, because I've been playing a lot of squad lately with a friend, and that's, I mean, obviously it's a milsim, so it's a lot slower paced, and sometimes it's just such a pain getting from where you've respawned to where there's actual action. If you die, it's a real pain getting back to where you were before you died. Thanks you gaming, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Result, child result. Else. Nice. It's going well. Define well, I suppose. I mean, it's I'm coming back to it after more than a week away after being out of town and then sick, so I'm just glad to be back for a couple of weeks at least before I go off again. But so far so good today. I'm probably gonna try and work a bunch this weekend. Looking forward to it. Yeah. Let me text a friend back. The squad friend, actually. He wants to play right now, and I'm like, I love you, my guy, but we're live on Twitch, so. Let me just send a quick text back, just from my phone. So anyway, let's get back to it. Just gonna do a cheeky data validation results invalid. Oi, be nice in chat. Lock text. Action entry is null. Go for it. It's nice that we've got like people with real world relationships as well in the community. I think that's quite fun. I was just like, it felt quite bantery, but I just wanted to make sure. So okay, here's our little loop done. Now we need to make sure users don't subclass from a BP of this. We don't want double subclasses, which makes sense. Yeah, the Nits and Hypo, you guys are, I think you're on the money with the APCs and the respawning trucks, because it was always, you'd respawn and you'd be back in the action very quickly. Very much the opposite experience of Squad 44, AK Postscriptum, and HLL. Because those are much slower. I don't know what I'd call it, like loops, gameplay. It's because it's not a gameplay loop, but it's like life loop, lifetimes. Just sort of the time you go from dying to being back in the battlefield is really quick was really quick in H&G. Get super class. Okay. First native parent. This will be interesting, I think, from our perspective, actually, when we go to, because we're obviously starting with just infantry before we tackle vehicles. I think we'd like to get vehicles in our minimum viable product, which is what will actually properly let people play. But our initial playtesting and all will be just infantry. So I think we need to make sure that we don't over tweak the infantry before vehicles get involved. Just because, yeah. I don't know, is infantry on infantry only something people are at all interested in, or is sort of the presence of vehicles like a must-have for your enjoyment? Okay.
Why is this not doing the thing?
Do you think that, like, yeah, I mean, obviously most matches will be played with vehicles, but the question is, should all matches be played with vehicles, or should there be opportunities or, for example, maps that are like inherently unsuited to vehicles? Captain Knights in chat.
Is it?
Yeah. If no vehicles, then rage quit. Oh boy. We'll definitely have vehicles, my guy. You've made them already. But yeah. We'll see where we end up. I'm sure we'll try everything. I mean, we'll try maybe even only vehicles. But it's that fun part of game design where we don't entirely know what we're making just yet. Oh, I'm sure they will. I'm not trying to suggest that like vehicles won't be a big part of the game. I think they're part of sort of the core gameplay experience. Like, I think from a lot of people, they're like really fundamental to their enjoyment and just to the way the game works. I'm just sort of trying to gauge how people would feel about occasional, infantry only battles. I'm just curious. I mean, we'll see. It's a very different, very different physics engine. But we'll see where we end up. I think we're definitely going to be aiming to tune vehicles on more of the fun side.
Yeah, all I'm saying is I want my Jeep stuff. Just so I can launch a Jeep at a plane. I feel like it. Because that's how physics work.
That's the Jeep Plane Hunter.
Exactly.
Famous, actually, modification of the Jeep that nobody talks about. The mainstream media doesn't want you to know. I think I just go like that.
Exactly.
Strong agree
nice.
from me as well. Strong agree from me as well.
And because there's not going to be, because it's an arcade game, so we're not going to have it where like you can accidentally blow up all your teammates by one tank shell, and then get kicked from the game for team killing. Siege. But put enough explosives underneath a friendly vehicle, it won't destroy the vehicle, but instead all those forces will just launch it instead. If they die to fall damage in a vehicle, that's on them.
Oh boy.
Because they didn't follow the lessons I've learned in GTA. As long as you land on 4 wheels, you're fine. Even if you're falling from the air. It's great.
Yeah. Okay, let's do our little update assets bundle. Add additional asset bundle data. Asset bundle data. Wow, that's incredible. And this should be there, and then that should be with editor only data. That should be in diff. Undef look text namespace. Okie dokie. That should be about it. Thanks to gaming, interesting thing to mention. Team damage, yay or nay? Let's put it to chat. Let's see what chat thinks. So which guns do you want walked behind a paywall then? So we're thinking a yay for team damage. Yeah, for sure. You either do no team damage or you do a team damage with a consequence system. If there's no consequence, it's a bit of a problem. But I will see what we come up with. Again, all of this is like super subject to change with a ton of playtesting. But
but one of those things in playtesting where we secretly enable team damage and just see what chaos unfolds.
Yeah, all of those secret patch notes that you don't get to see, but we get to look at and see how it affects you without you knowing about it.
Till you know about it, and then we got all the messages and we'll get the reaction. It's great.
Yeah, it's a double whammy. What if we lock all the guns behind a paywall and free-to-play players can only unlock shovels? I think this is a perfect monetization strategy. I see no issues whatsoever with this strategy.
You know, you want to know an even better strategy is we actually just charge them money for each game they play.
Oh my god!
Because I know a game that was very successful with doing that, and totally did not screw themselves over to the point the game died and they practically shut down because of it.
They would never.
And their name was very fitting to what happened to them.
Okay, so we have our experience definition. This should build. Actually, no, it doesn't build. Of course it doesn't build.
Said the infamous words, that's why. This should build, then you just get every error in existence.
So this one I don't entirely get. Because this one should be fine. Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate. I'm just wondering, like, because this has like no reason not to work. What if I just toss a U in front of that? Now we build it. Okay, well, it hasn't instantly failed. just wants the U in front of both of those. And then... Okay. Oh, because it's an A, of course. Please? Hey. Nice. Okay. So this should now kind of, well, like there's still, let's be very clear here, there's still a huge amount of stuff that needs to be added to the system before it's anywhere close to functional, but I should at least be able to see and create experience definitions, even if they're not complete. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Okay, I'm not seeing a little section here for the experience definition. I would probably say, because I need to set the default world settings somewhere, like override them. So let's bring Lyra back. And I'm going to find usages of world settings. So there's a Lyra editor engine. Okay. I'm so confused as to what's going on in chat right now, but pop off. I gotta switch up Mountain Town now. I'm so curious. Mountain Town. Mountain Town. That's, I don't want that. That's, somehow I can start to see where you're coming from. That's quite the graphical fidelity. I think I see 8 whole polygons. Some high quality trees there as well. Okay. Okay, so the editor component is very simple. That's fine. I'm going to need a Warbound editor. But I've got no fucking clue how to make more than one project in the thing. New project?
You ready?
Do tell.
Source build. Na, 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 na.
Surely not, because I can run it in Lyra. Right?
Warbound has an editor target already, anyway. That's just the editor target is literally just the Unreal editor.
I know.
Yeah. So
But
what are you trying to do?
I need a custom editor component.
Cool.
Because in order to register the Warbound world settings, I need to register them in the editor engine. Down here. I think, anyway. That's my best guess. Well, it's back to Google. UE5 add another project test source folder. Sure. Or UE5 editor and game projects. The source folder. Or you know what? Maybe I just need to like... Oh wait, Unreal module. I bet you it's this. Warbound editor. Module type. Yes, it's this. I'm gonna say this is editor. Loading phase default.
Shall be right back.
Please. I'll be another 13 minutes and then I'm dipping, but yeah.
There's
Did that do anything? Yes. Yes, that was it. Awesome. Cool. I might try to refactor and rename this project to Warbound Game, just so we have that clarity between the editor and the game. The editor is obviously what we use to make the game, and this will let us do a little bit of scripting on that. Not a huge amount. Maybe down the line we'll write some custom tools and stuff, which would be a pretty cool stream, to be honest, but we really don't need anything like that just yet. So this is mostly just to allow us to add our custom world settings that we wrote today. It's gonna take ages again, isn't it? Ugh. I really hope this doesn't like stupidly break everything. To be fair, even if it does, we're fine because of source control. Thank you, Perforce. But it'd be annoying. All right, I mean, you just... It's literally 4 characters. Come on. I believe in you. There's an 8-core CPU inside this computer. It's trying to add 4 characters. I've been sitting here for a good 15-20 seconds. Modern technology, eh? It's almost the weekend. How's everyone faring with the whole IT system outage today? Really? Well, some of my family are flying today, so I've been kind of hearing about it. It's pretty funny though. Thank you, CrowdStrike. For those that don't know, CrowdStrike, which is like a cybersecurity firm, they pushed an update last night, and it kind of led to BSODs on Windows machines. And so everything went down. That's really tragic, Captain Knight. I'm so sorry. That's not reassuring. I thought it was really funny because Teams didn't go down, so I still had to have my meeting today. It was fine. It was a really nice guy. It was with regards to my dissertation, but yeah. I do not have a great feeling about how this has gone. These are all empty folders, guys. No, it's not trying to launch. I've just I think accidentally fucked everything. As you can see, all of the files are gone. Where do I keep this? Is it here? It's here. So we have editor, and we have that, and in here it's still in its correct place. So what if I just like close that and then reopen the project? Okay, that's still not reassuring. Okay, I'm going to revert. That's a little worrying. That one's okay. Okay, the files are back. Ooh. Realistically, the only thing that I was going to lose was today's work, but still not pleasant. So I'm curious what's been. So this is fine. That's the game features that we added. And what's changed here? Yes, okay. So we've got the Warbound editor in there. and I've set those up correctly. Okay, I'm glad the editor part is building though. Let's see if it will build. It seems that it was just sort of Ryder having a bit of a wait, where are the files moment. But hopefully we'll be okay and everything will load and nothing will be broken. Nice. If I hit play. Nice. I don't get any blueprint errors. And you've got Josh's lovely crouch functionality. So I think that's about where I'm going to leave things today. We've gotten a bunch of code written. Actually, that was more productive than I was expecting. So we've added an editor module to our project. We've written our experience definitions, and on that front, I'm going to pull up Discord and let's create a poll. Let's say we'll do oops, I hit my microphone there. Sorry about that. Shall we do 24 hours and do a stream on Sunday? I think that makes more sense. We'll allow multiple answers. Hey folks. Haven't streamed as much as lately, so I'm going to be doing additional stream on Sunday. Please let me know when. What time be most convenient for you to tune in? And we'll say, I gotta get this. I wonder if answers can be just like straight. So let's go Discord text time stamp generator. That's what I want. And I want this to be Sunday. And we'll say 2 p.m. And let's search 1, 2, 3. And I'll do a late stream as well. So I'll do 2 p.m., 4 p.m. Do a 6 p.m. and an 8 p.m. I mean, document is not focused. Okay. That's the same one, so I need to do a new 6 p.m. Okay. Well, that's not quite what I had in mind. So let's delete that. Make a new poll, and I'm just gonna have to write it out. 2 p.m. BST. p.m. British Summer Time. 4 p.m. British Summer Time. 6 p.m. PST. And 8 p.m. PST. just make people go and solve Unix time on their own. We should do an ARG like that at some point for the game. Just I've got a friend that makes them, so we can get him to make it. He's very clever. 21st. Yeah. Dev stream announcements. Let me know what time works best for you. And we'll on Sunday. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. I will check this time tomorrow, and we'll do a fun little stream on Sunday. I'll probably make some more progress on this tomorrow with Josh, but so you'll see a continuation of today's adventures on Sunday. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm very grateful to have you all here. Very glad to be back. Sask Kunz, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you for the follow from 6 minutes ago. And yeah, I'll see you all on Sunday. Thanks so much for catching the stream. And have a great evening and a great weekend. Bye.